Hi, I'm Joel Fadley, and welcome to ELPA Breaking News, the March 26, 2015 edition. Google, you're killing me. That must have been what Mario Gonzalez was thinking when he spent 5 years fighting to have 18 words delisted from Google search results on his name. When the Spaniard Googled himself back in 2009, there were two prominent results about home foreclosure notices from 1998 when he was in temporary financial trouble. Gonzalez asked the newspaper to remove them, and when that was unsuccessful, he challenged Google, and the case was eventually elevated to the European Court of Justice, Europe's highest court. Back in the beginning, when Google was founded, Sergey Brin and Larry Page described in their original Stanford research paper the web is a, quote, vast collection of completely uncontrolled heterogeneous documents, unquote. Search engines just take this and give it perpetual freshness all the time. Vast catalogs of human sentiments and stories get served up through these black box algorithms. The algorithms that Brennan Page initially described as inherently biased towards the advertisers and away from the needs of consumers. They even called it particularly insidious, these things that are put on the internet about people. Well, in May 2014, the ECJ found against Google. They recognized that this information that is out on the web is built somewhat in detail, but it's very selective. And what are the rights of the individuals to whom those profiles relate to? And what are the rights of those seeking information? It's really a philosophical divide that once information is online, should it stay online? Except when unlawful under defamation, criminal law, or copyright. This is a view that's typically raised on the First Amendment rights. On the other hand, all manner of reasons to remove data, being compelled by law. You might want to remove information for emotional reasons, ethical reasons, or maybe just because there's no countervailing interest. Recent removal requests approved by Google include patient medical histories, intimate private photos, and old threads and private group conversations that ended up online. According to TheGuardian.com, the phrase right to be forgotten was mentioned only briefly in the judgment, but was immediately seized upon by the media, Google, and the regulators. They're now replaced by the more accurate right to delist. The impact of this label right to be forgotten was to force the debate into binaries. Forgetting versus remembering, privacy versus freedom of expressions, censorship versus truth or history. All of these are false dichotomies and are surely going to be in the news in the future. You've got mail! According to Hillary Clinton, some 60,000 emails were either sent or received during her tenure as Secretary of State. In 2009, law required that the archiving of electronic correspondence is necessary. The Federal Records Act in 2014 went further to say that the use of personal email accounts are forbidden for government business. But Senator Clinton was Secretary of State prior to the law of 2014. At the time Clinton was Secretary, the Federal Records Act didn't require federal employees to use government accounts, only to preserve records of their communications, according to the Daily Beast, Michael Tomasky. The Clinton seems to have done this. But the crux of the matter is, these emails that were in her personal account, some were business, some were personal. Are all of those to be turned over to the authorities, or just the business side? What about those personal emails that she has deleted? Has she violated any laws? We don't know. Stay tuned. And finally, on a more somber note, I present James Foley and the daily horrors of the internet, about how we should think hard before clicking. There's been a lot of public outcry over the footage of Foley's apparent beheading, and it's raised some difficult questions about editorial ethics and our own choices. We now live in an era where virtually every phone is a globally connected camera, and we are confronted with graphic evidence of tragedy. And the footage of this apparent beheading of U.S. photojournalist James Foley at the hands of a British ISIS extremist has raised particularly strong feelings. According to TheGuardian.com, social networks are banning users who share this footage. Newspapers are facing pushback. Others, of course, will seek out this video and want to post it around the internet in a form of free speech. Foley's apparent beheading was released not at the editorial decision of a photojournalist, but really as a propaganda tool by the thugs who committed this atrocious crime. Outlets should consider whether they are furthering or challenging such aims when they use such images. And there's also simple human decency and the difficult trade-off of not insulating us comfortable Western people from the world's horrors. But ultimately, there should be self-examination. There should be self-censorship on our part. That we ask ourselves, do we need to see this? Or do we not? It's a question we have to ask every day when we get on the World Wide Web. Thank you. This is Joel Fadley signing off.